So I got a video that's a discussion video. I could see how some people would take it as a rant video, but it's not. It's not a rant. It's kind of a rant. But if I didn't care about this game, I wouldn't make this video. Instead, I would just leave Planetside 2. But because I care, I feel like it's more important to voice my opinion on what I think is issues with this game, rather than just being like one of those Debbie Downers and just be like, oh, well, I'll just go play Overwatch then. But, alright, so here goes. In no particular order, these are the three things I think are big issues with some of the problems with the fun factor of this game. So number one is finding a good fight. So this game is different. It's big, it's dynamic, it has a lot more going for it than, you know, your Twitch shooter, Call of Duty, Battlefield 4 games. When you play another first-person shooter game that's like Battlefield 4 or Call of Duty, you just join the lobby and then, you know, you wait till the game starts and you go play. But Planetside 2 is not like that. Like, you gotta find the fights, and they're not guaranteed to be good. Like, there's many bases that are zergs or spawn camps, and it's just not fun to be on either side of those kinds of fights. So you gotta go find one that's actually good. And my big issue with the redeploy system, first, the developers know about this, but when you redeploy, the map is just all screwed up. Like, you can't, the waypoints are not positioned correctly. Like, they're not where the reader put them, or where you put your own. And the second issue has to do with how the game lets you redeploy at bases you're defending. So in order to redeploy to a base that you're defending, your faction has to have less than 50% of the population there. And I think that's kind of wrong. Like, that suggests that, you know, your faction is winning when you have the majority population. But that's not true at all. This game is an objective-based game. So, like, even if your population there is higher than the enemies, it doesn't guarantee you winning. If they have the control points and your faction doesn't, you're losing. And that's just how it is. And when you're defending a base, a lot of the players at a base, they're just camping the spawn room or around the spawn room, or they're camping the central tower, and they're not moving out and actually fighting. So as a defender, you're already at a disadvantage because, you know, a good portion of your population isn't actually participating in the fight. So that's an issue I have with that. I wish that would be changed so that you could redeploy to a base that you're defending until you have 60% of the population. I think that would be more fair, because it would mean that you have a better chance of defending bases. I mean, I know that the, you know, if the defending team could always defend bases successfully, it would disrupt the flow of battle. You'd have fights the same bases over and over, and nobody wants that. But I just think that 50% is a little too skimpy, and I think it should be pushed to 60% overpop instead of just 50 to let you deploy at that base. Alright, so my next issue with this game right now is the air-to-ground, ground-to-air interaction. So a patch came through that fixed the air-to-air interactions, and I think it's great. The air-to-air lock-ons problem has totally changed. Like, they have the damage that air-to-air lock-ons does to other ESFs. That's awesome. Like, they're good, but they're not impossible to fight against like they used to be. Like, it used to be, you know, 2 air-to-air lock-ons and a little bit of nose gun, and you're just done for. Like, you couldn't fight back against that. You couldn't run away from it. There was nothing you could do. But now, air-to-air lock-ons, they don't suck, but they're not overpowered like they used to be. But of course, coyotes have risen to take their place, and I have my own feelings about that. But anyway, so the air-to-ground interaction is kind of lame. So what I feel about the air-to-ground interaction is that it's like shooting fish in a barrel. So if you have rocket pods and you're targeting infantry or you're targeting tanks or whatever, they just can't fight back. Like, there's nothing they can do. In this clip, I'm playing a brand new TR character, and I really learned that when I'm not on my VS main, I've got nothing to do with the air. I've learned to hate the light PPA. Seriously, screw the light PPA. I am really sorry to every victim of it. It just sucks. So if you're a new player, like, the only thing you can have to fight back against the air is a single Burster Max arm. That's garbage. Like, we all know that one Burster Max arm does half of what two Burster Max arms does, and it takes a full clip from two Burster Max arms, unless you have extended mags, to bring down an ESF. So that means if you have one Burster Max arm, you have to dump your whole mag, reload, and dump a whole mag again. And there's no way an ESF is going to stay around for that. So, if you're new to this game, like, what are you going to do against the air? Like, your only hope is to jump into an anti-air Thales turret, but those are priority targets for everything. Tanks, infiltrators, heavies, YSLs, C4, like, everybody's going after those. So, I mean, the new players getting farmed by air, like, you know, Papa Vanu help them. There's nothing they could do about it. And my second biggest issue is, even for the vets, it's boring. Like, ground to air lock-ons with the lock-on launcher is just boring. Like, so you have a rectangle and you point it at aircraft until the red square turns green, and then you press the trigger. That was fun. Like, come on. I mean, I personally like using Burster Maxes. I actually am one of the people that enjoy using a Burster Max to clear air. I think it's fun. I think it's, you know, it takes some skill to lead the flak rounds and stuff like that. And to me, it's enjoyable. But I totally understand people that don't enjoy having to pull a Burster Max, because they don't want to pull a Burster Max. They want to, you know, pull a Lightning, or pull a Prowler, Vanguard, or Magrider, or Harasser, or they want to play infantry or whatever, but they can't. They have to stop what they're doing, and they have to deal with the air. And I mean, you know, like, that's just how it is, right? Like, you have to use anti-air to fight air, but it's not like, it's not fun to do. Your primary does nothing to ESFs except, you know, say, hey, shoot me, I'm your next target. You know, like, you get a hit marker, and it's pretty looking. Unless you get a full LMG clip into an ESF, it's not doing anything. Like, it's just not fun. It's not fun to be anti-air, and in my opinion, being air attacking the ground, it's fun at first, but the fun wears off very quickly. Like, you're just shooting fish in a barrel. Why not just go to VR training and go shoot the dummies? Because they're not going to fight back. The infantry you're fighting on the ground is not going to fight back. It's kind of the same thing, right? Whatever. Alright, so that's my issue with the air-to-ground, ground-to-air interaction. It's just, you know, that you're a fish, and you're in a barrel, and some ESF is just shooting at you. There's nothing you can do about it. And then you pull anti-air, and then now you're the one shooting the fish in the barrel. It's just, the interaction's out there. It's just a game of rock, paper, scissors, and you picked rock and they picked paper and you lost. Well, that's not fun. There's nothing fun about that, you know? I mean, if rock, paper, scissors is really fun, why not just go play rock, paper, scissors? No, I want to play Planetside 2. So it's not fun. I don't enjoy it. And nobody really does enjoy it. That's kind of the problem. And I can't even suggest something to fix that. I mean, if you took away rocket pods, and I would love to see anti-infantry nose guns be changed to anti-air Empire-specific nose guns. That would be really cool, but I don't see that change happening. I'm just kind of depressed about that. I think it's a lost opportunity, but I mean, the ESFs have to have rocket pods and have to have Hornets, because if they don't have those, then they're not going to be able to impact the battle. all they're going to be able to do is take out Liberators and take out Galaxies, and they're not really common enough that you need someone around all the time for that job. And even if you did, you have anti-air anyway. So why not pull a Burster Max? Or a Lancer. Lancers are great against Liberators. I love using a Lancer against a Liberator. That's something that's fun. That would be a great way to go with anti-air. To make it more fun, but just as it is right now, it's not. And that's my problem. So, anyway, my last issue is max spam. So Will mentioned in his uncut video, his recent one, at the timing of this video, that he suggested two really great things. So one is taking the Aegis shield from the NC Max and making it like a weapon that you equip on an arm. And that sounds awesome. And the second awesome suggestion he made was to take away charge and add fire suppression. I don't know about taking away charge. The only reason I say that is because even though I think that taking away charge would probably be a positive thing, I don't think everybody would think of it as a positive thing. And just because of that, I think that's kind of the main reason why I don't want charge to go away, is because some people might enjoy it. And you don't want to disappoint, you know, like, you can't make everyone happy, right? But I think that adding fire suppression would be pretty cool. I don't know about taking away charge just yet. But I mean, I understand. Charge is like a get out of jail free card for a max, or it allows you to chase down and get that kill if someone's trying to run away. So, I kind of understand the BS factor of it, but at the same time, I don't really have too much of a problem with it. But anyway, max spam just sucks. It's just not fun. Like, even if I've gotten to the point where I'm really good at taking down maxes, like, they just don't cause a problem for me anymore. They just disrupt the flow of battle. Like, there's just such a dominant force among infantry that even if you can take care of them, they just have such a presence. I don't really know how to explain it. It's just that sometimes it feels that the side that pulls maxes more and has more organized maxes and squads is the side that's going to win. I don't enjoy that. That's not fun, you know? I feel that maxes right now, they don't do the job that we want them to. Like, we want to see them as machines that push. You know, like, they break up the flow of battle. They force out the stalemates. That's cool. That's a cool job for maxes, you know? Like, there's some bases that are just impossible to take. Maxes are what you do. You pull maxes and you can fight back. But nothing's stopping the enemy from doing the same. Just pulling maxes and fighting back against your maxes, and then you're back at a stalemate. It's just not... It's not fun. So, that's my problem with maxes. I really hope to see the situation of maxes get changed so that they're better at pushing and worse at farming. I really hope nothing changes to anti-air or anti-vehicle maxes, because I think they're fine where they are. We all hate Ravens. Ravens are cheese. But so are Vortexes, so is Lancers, and so is a Gatekeeper. Like, they're all cheese for the same reason. They can snipe targets from stupid distances away. But anyway, those are my thoughts, and I hope you enjoyed. I'll see y'all guys later.